Hey everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It is Mary Payne here, and this is a Pink Shade bonus episode. You guys know I've been covering Sold on Salt Lake City over on Pink Shade Prime with producer Ingrid, and we've had the best time talking about it. The show blew us away. We were expecting it to be okay, but we didn't know it was going to be great. So we've loved every minute of it. I was lucky last week. I got to talk to Malaysia, and this week I have Sarah here.
Hey, hi
Hey.
guys. Thank
Oh
you
my
for having me
gosh.
here. You have some really big names here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's such an honor being here with you.
Oh, that's so nice. No, listen, I'm thrilled. We have so many questions for you.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
I'm ready.
we put out our episode this morning, and I was like, "Don't forget, I'm talking to Sarah later today." So I'm gonna I gotta
Right.
get my juices flowing here. First, we need to know. This is the first question. Did you live in Brazil when you met your husband? That's my first question.
Okay, I was living in Utah when I met him. I was
Okay.
living for about 6 months already. I came here to attend University of Utah to get my
Hmm.
master's degree there.
Okay.
And then I was like, I need to meet new people. So I went on Tinder.
Yeah.
Sorry, too much info, but I was like,
No,
well, that's the
that's how
only way.
everybody meets everybody these days, right? Yeah.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm not from here, I don't have a lot of friends, so how do I meet new people?" So Tinder will be my one
Yeah.
of my options, so and we matched, and then I think the same day we matched, we went on a date.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, in my mind, because they didn't explain it very well, I was like, now, was he
yeah.
on a mission in Brazil and he ding donged on her door and met her?
Yeah, so actually, no, him and we're not, LDS, so no mission for us. And then
Okay.
that's how we met, literally through, Tinder,
Okay.
and then
Just the
we
good old fashioned way. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So neither one of you are Mormon. So you don't have to say Mormon 2.0 or any of that.
Yeah, I would say Christian 2.0,
Okay.
if that works.
Because we've seen you a lot doing, like, I pray before every, open house
Yeah.
and all this. And I was like, I don't think she's Mormon. I don't think Mormons would carry around like a prayer candle and things like that.
Yeah, I'm a very I don't like to say religious, but, I have a big faith, so I like to pray
Yeah.
every day, before every big moment in my life.
Yeah.
Although I curse too much, that's one of my goals to work on 2025 is to try to swear less. It's so
Okay.
bad.
Let me know if you figure out how to make that work because I have a
Oh my
potty
gosh.
mouth as well. It's terrible.
It's so bad.
Now, how old are your kids though?
So I have a boy, he's 4.5, and
Okay.
my girl, she's 2.5. So
Four and a
I
half and
love
two.
their personalities are so funny. My boy, he's so competitive. In fact, he just got a new collar on his jujitsu belt. So he's like
Wow.
thinking he's so, so cool with that. He is. He's such a cool little kid. Rides dirt bikes and he's just a wild kid. And then
Yeah.
my girl, she's so sassy and feisty. Like she loves twerking. Like I teach her to twerk like a good Brazilian, we're Brazilian, so
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
has to know how to twerk.
Yeah.
And she's just, I love her personality. She's just feisty and spicy. I'm like, I don't know who you get this from.
That's cute. That's cute. Now, because we saw on the show that Chris had been married before, he was married before. Did he have kids with that wife? Does that get involved in your life at all?
No, they didn't have kids. It was such a short relationship they had. In fact, I'm friends with her.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm very connected with her too. So we're always like, not always, but here and there, we'll, text each other or
So there's
but
no animosity.
so there's no, there's
Everything that's
actually a
good.
lot of respect between her and I, and yeah, they ended in a really good place. They didn't have
Yeah.
kids. They're just like, we don't work together.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
But, we saw that Matt came in and tried to get her to, like, talk
I
about you
know.
and stuff. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, like, because he went on lunch with her, and I was like, dude, why didn't you invite me to be on that lunch? I would love to sit down with her because her and I are friends.
Right.
I would be happy to answer any questions with her, any questions you had about my life. Why didn't you invite me to be on that lunch? And when they went on the lunch and she told us her and I went on the lunch in Tina because she's best friends with Tina. So the three
So
of
this
us
is the same lunch
it's the same
that
lunch.
he talks shit about Tina.
Isn't this crazy? The same lunch. So Tina and I and her went on the lunch, and we're literally just laughing at him, like all the questions he was making. We're like, he's just hilarious. Let's put it this way.
So Matt went to lunch with Chris's ex, but we thought it was a separate lunch he went to with Tina's best friend, but Chris's ex is Tina's best friend.
Yep.
Oh
Small Lake
my
City.
gosh. So when he went to that lunch, he thought, I'm gonna get a twofer.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna tell that Tina doesn't hates Mormons and doesn't believe in God, and I'm gonna get this scoop on
On
Sarah so I
Sarah.
can go around bad mouthing. He's trying to get dirt on both of you.
But it is so funny because we're like, dude, you mess with the wrong, we call girl gang, you know.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
like girl power here. You don't mess with us. We actually help each other. We empower each other. We're not here to, talk bad on each other. So
That is wild because every time they would talk about he had lunch with Tina's best friend and he was saying all the stuff to Tina's best friend and he's like, I never said it. She's like, you said it to my best friend, but you were also there, so you heard it.
yep. I knew everything. I was like, oh man, why you're digging yourself a hole?
He just lies.
I
He just
know.
lies.
I think he just likes attention. I mean,
Well, so when we were first started watching the show, we could tell right away that the way it was being, put together was the production is trying to tell us something about Matt. The production is trying to like something happened with Matt that because he says they had fancy cars, they had to downgrade. They had a bigger house, they had
yeah,
to downgrade. But then we hear he's realtor of the year, which makes no sense if he's lost all his money. And the way that the editing and the production is going is like all the women hate him. So you're
yeah.
trying to figure out why. And then, of course, it does come out about what he did and all that. But what's so fascinating to me, what I was talking to Malaysia about is nobody can figure out why Jen rides so hard for Matt. And we're coming up on the finale. Are we going to ever find out?
I literally don't know. And that's the biggest question. Like every day we ask each other, like, what is going on? Like, what? Yeah, it's just weird for even like to express myself, like how I feel about this. Cause it's like, I get it. You have your friends, you want to be loyal to them, right?
Sure.
But like one thing is, if she wants to be loyal to him, fine, like in personal life, I think,
Yeah.
okay, you can take your friend's side or not. But when it comes to business, like just listen to everybody, like listen to all parts. Like I don't know, it's just weird to me.
Well, on the episode we saw this week, when you're at that fire pit, which I was like, why couldn't they have made it like one of an electric fire pit? Why does it have to be real? Like, you guys were all like sweating and like my hair stinks and
It
like, yeah.
was bad.
I was like, that didn't look fun. But it's funny because Jen's like, I want to hear negative and positive. So she reads a lot of the positive, and then she stands up and says, okay, so one of the questions was, why don't you take equal sides when the realtors have issues with each other? And she was like, I really feel like I do, but I have known some people for longer. And then like she starts crying, saying she loves everybody like her baby and she takes everything personally and she has abandonment issues. I was like, okay, that wasn't the question. Like, why are we now turning this into something about you?
I know. And after that little note, that anonymous note, I feel like that made her really think,
Oh,
because no
good.
one ever told her, like, be fair or be neutral. After
Yeah.
that one, I think she really got it thinking, because you will watch the next episode.
Yeah.
I swear, after that night, she was different. I don't
Good.
want to say a completely different person, but she started to like rethinking what she was doing, which I think it was a good thing. It was a good reminder, like, hey, there are other opinions here. There are other agents. Why not?
Hear
So,
everything. Yes.
so
Yes.
I'm hopeful that she's starting to realize, like, you know,
There are other opinions there. I tell you that. Okay. Now here's a question that we had for you. Now in the first couple of episodes, whenever they would show a new person, it would be like Kenny, and it shows him walking by a pool.
yeah,
Kenny, 7 years in the business, 250 million in
yeah,
sale, blah blah blah. They did that for everybody but you. You're the only
really.
one that didn't get one.
Wait, what? I have
Yes.
to go back and watch. What do you
Now,
mean? You mean the numbers? Wait, I
so
didn't
at the bottom of everybody's screen, it says, look, I'll tell you, I've got it. Oh
stop
shoot,
it.
I've got to pull it up on my notes. Here's what it says. I'll read it to you verbatim because I wrote it down every time. It
Yeah.
says, I'm pulling it. Here's my notes. It says, Jennifer, 17 years as an agent, 118 million in lifetime sales. Tina, 11 years as an agent, 99 million lifetime sales. Malaysia, 2 years, 8.8. Kenny, 12 years, 153.
What?
Matt, 6 years, 25 million. This is what it says. Sarah, moved to Utah from Brazil 8 years ago. And then I met Chris. That's it. It never said one
Wait,
thing about your
where
career.
is my 17 million, you know,
Yeah.
in sales, almost 7 years in the business.
So I
I don't
asked
know.
Malaysia, I was like, did Sarah become a realtor last week and she was pretty, so they put her on the show?
No, I've been in the business for 7 years. I'm one of the top agents in the Brazilian community. I
Yeah.
sell a lot for Brazilians, you know. In fact, I literally 3 days ago just closed on a house. I have another one on a contract I have listed. I have 4 listings coming. We're
Yeah.
so busy. I
That's
don't know,
that's
maybe
crazy.
I'm just not the favorite. It's clear.
Well, I asked Malaysia and she was like, that can't be right. She said, well, she worked for Chris's firm for a while and now she's with Presidio on the show. Now, so Chris has a competing firm.
Yeah.
And so what happened there that you joined that firm and then what happened to make you flip over to Presidio?
Yeah. So, my husband started a real broker for Utah, right? He's
Mhm.
not the principal broker anymore. And then when we decided to, focus our business a little different, he was like, "All right, I'm going to focus on construction
Mhm.
instead of being the principal broker." And I was like, "Well, and I'm going to try to focus more and more on real estate." But I knew he wasn't going to give me that much of support anymore in real estate because he is super busy right now. He's
Mhm.
building 3 new custom homes. He has 19 projects going on right now,
Wow.
and everything I knew about real estate was what he knew, based on his experience. I'm like, why not explore more options? And then I got introduced to Jen, and I
Mhm.
saw her the opportunity to, because she's a girl's girl, she's a boss woman, she's all of that. And I was like, I need to mirror someone,
Mhm.
like a super boss lady. And I saw
Mhm.
that in her. I was like, I actually want to be here to see what I can learn from her. And also all the time people be like, "You're only successful because of your husband, because you carry his last name, you
Yeah.
get business from him." I'm like, "No, you guys, he doesn't even speak Portuguese to talk to my clients."
Right, right. Yeah.
So I was like, maybe a move to a different brokerage will give me that image, which it was amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Presidio has been, although Jen and I had a rocky relationship,
Mhm.
but I've been learning a lot,
Yeah.
from everywhere.
Well,
So,
that was a burning question too. It's like, first of all, why didn't they give you a Chiron? And because they were showing you walking around and, with I was like, "Well, maybe she's just brand new." But
no,
no, but then Malaysia was like, "No way. She's been doing it for a long
yeah,
time."
yeah.
Okay, now we need to know about your cute mom.
Oh my goodness,
When
she's
did she
just
move in with you guys and what's the story there?
she's such a babe. My mom moved here, I wanted to say 6 months after I moved here.
Oh,
'Cause she
okay.
was like, she realized, "All right, I can't live without you." Her and I are best friends.
Yeah.
We're like 2 besties. We talk about literally everything. We shop together. We talk about relationship, dates, sex, everything, kids.
Yeah.
Like, she's just like, there's no taboo between her and I.
Mhm.
And she's just like, I literally don't know anybody who does not like my mom. Like, she's just funny. Like,
Yeah.
she's I love her. And and even when we were talking with friends and they're like, "Translate this to your mom." I'm like, "No, it's too, like, I don't feel
Yeah.
comfortable translate." And she goes to my friends and she like try to use translator, try to
Yeah.
figure it out. She's just a funny person.
Is she, slowly but surely, learning English, you think?
She's
Yeah.
learning slowly. She understands most of it. She just has hard time, speaking, because people here, they talk really fast.
They talk fast. Yes, it's
They
hard.
talk fast. And so she's definitely learning, and I can see she's improved a lot her English, but
Well, how
it's
great
it's
to ha
hard when you're over 60, it's hard to learn a language.
Oh, I can imagine. But it's so great. It has to be so great for you to have your mom there with your kids, because that would be really hard if she was in
Oh
another
my gosh.
country and you had your kids and couldn't see, grandma all the time. That would be rough.
And she's very supportive of literally everything. She helps a lot with the kids, like you said. And the thing I like the most about her is that although she's a grandma, and we all know that grandmas are made to spoil, right, the kids,
Mhm.
but when she's with the kids, she keeps, the rules. She's like, all right, mommy said no, you can do this. You need to respect mommy's decision. So I love how she knows, she spoils them, she knows the limit, but she also helps me to educate them and, keep them in track.
And how about your
But
kids are probably, bilingual, right? They could speak 2 languages?
they're bilingual, and it
Wow.
is just crazy to see, like, how kids learn everything so fast, and
Yeah,
I try to
nice.
keep, both of the cultures in our house, so
Yeah, that's
it's
amazing.
fun, yeah.
Now, I was gonna ask you this, I asked the same thing to Malaysia. Do you have a good side like Paige?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I used to do the same thing as Paige, like, in production already knew, like, they already knew my good side.
Okay, okay.
So, I was terrified, filming with Paige because her and I have the same side. Every time we're in the group picture,
Yeah,
you can see all the pictures her and I together, we're in the same side, and then
so funny.
if it's just her and I in the picture, we're, like, always fighting, like, "No, can I be here?" It's
It
so
has to be
funny.
just dead on because nobody can choose.
Seriously.
Malaysia said hers was opposite, so she works
The
okay, so yeah.
opposite, yep. Yeah, yeah. That's so funny.
Do you
It's so
ever
funny.
do you ever do any, of the stunts like we've seen Kenny do? Do you ever do stunts like that, like, for social media to sell a house?
Like, it's funny because I will proudly say this, but we were in the very first people in Utah to start doing funny videos like that, like listening videos.
Yeah,
Even before Kenny, before Paige, before any of these guys, I can send you tons of videos way before back in time we
yeah,
started doing those funny videos. And now I see everybody doing, which is amazing. Like, it's a way to do it, right? Way to sell the house. And but we do a lot. I did one of my favorite ones was I was giving 7 reasons to not buy this house.
okay,
And then I'm laying on the countertop. It's a massive countertop, right? I'm
yeah,
like, if you don't like a massive countertop in your kitchen, then don't buy this house.
yeah, 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 yeah.
There's so many ways to get creative with real estate nowadays.
I see people doing videos where they're showing the rooms of the house, but then there's always something in it that'll scare you to death, like a horror movie character, and they
Yeah,
placed it in the room, and so they go around and they showed the whole room, and there it is, and they do
they're
and you're
like,
like, "Oh, please don't let it be in the next room," and then it's in the
that's
next room,
funny.
but all I feel like I spend so much of my social media time. I do stuff for work, but then all I'm ever
Uh-huh.
doing is looking at real estate, and it's
Oh,
just like,
really?
this is an apartment in New York I could have one day. This is a beach house I could have
Oh,
one
it's
day.
amazing.
That's all I do. I just love it. So I love when somebody puts a little the New York apartments are funny too because they're like 800 square feet, and
Mhm.
it's like the people do it in, like, super fast motion, so it's like a 20-second video, and they're like, "This is it," and that's it. You're
That's
like,
so funny.
yeah.
It's very much like New York.
Yeah, you're like,
It's so
"Okay."
true.
You're like,
But
"Okay, well,
they're
I could live
creative.
here."
It's their
Yeah.
way to to show it.
I'm watching it. I'm watching it.
That's
Um,
amazing.
so, okay, so let's talk about these castmates. Okay, so like I said
Mhm.
with Matt, we could tell right away production doesn't like him and wants us not to like him. But I was like,
He's
"Okay,
not
well,
helping himself. That's the reality.
no, they're showing what he's doing." But then we find out he's realtor of the year, and we're like, "But he hasn't ever even sold a house over $1,000,000." So when I asked Malaysia about it, she goes, "You know what? If you wanna figure out why they're such good friends, maybe you could just, you just check both of their Instagram." So,
It's
of course, I
crazy.
went and looked at their Instagram, and I don't see anything showing that they're best friends, but all I could see was they both got a deal to get, like, a free car in Utah. I couldn't figure out.
It is crazy. I still don't understand, like, their friendship, that's how they do it, whatever, good for them.
I yeah. So when we saw with him in the kitchen at your house that you sold, and he's like, "Oh, I had to come all the way out here. Oh, well, just
I
so I could
know.
like," and he's obviously been told by Jen to come out there and speak to you and apologize
Yeah.
for talking shit on you with this lunch and trying to like dig up information and calling you a gold digger and all this stuff, which obviously you've just told us the story is not remotely true. And it wasn't like your husband was fully married to somebody else and you
Yeah.
stole them and then now you've
Oh,
taken all
yeah.
his money. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
none of that is true.
Yeah.
So she's like, obviously told him to go out there and talk to you, while you're at this house. And so he goes out there and he just refuses to take any
I think
accountability at all.
it's so crazy, like, I think he was so mad that she told him to go apologize for me, and then you would think, like, "Alright, he's using this opportunity to truly, like, apologize to me," but he walked in so like I said, I got a lot of people are saying I never heard that word you that phrase you're saying, "So ego," but,
Yeah, yeah. So ego.
like,
Yeah.
so he was so ego. And it was shocking to me. You could see on my face. I thought he was I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous talking to him, because
He's
it
a
was
real
just him and I
aggro.
in that house, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I swear I was expecting, a little bit, how do I say, like a little bit more him humbling himself. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
And when he said the first thing he said, like, "Well, you made me drive 30 miles all the way here for what?" I'm like, "Oh my
You're
gosh,
like, "I didn't make you do
I
anything."
yeah." And as soon as he said that, I was like, "All right, you're definitely not here to apologize. You're here to make the things worse. So if
Mhm.
that's what you want, right, you mess with the wrong Brazilian."
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
about to speak Portuguese with him because he speaks Portuguese and served his mission in Brazil.
Oh.
So I was like, should I bring here all my Brazilian angry, all my swear words in Portuguese? But I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? I'll try to keep it cool. But then at one moment, I was like, whatever, screw you. You're
And
just
then at that bonfire while all you guys were sitting around in the heat, in that bonfire well, no, it was before the breathwork thing where he was like, "I just wanna say, I really hate confrontation."
right.
And I was like, "What?" We've seen him confront
It's
Tina, we've seen him confront you. We're like,
yeah. It's just funny. Matt is Matt. I think everything he says now, it doesn't even bother me anymore. Like, you as you I don't know how the last episode is gonna be. I haven't
yeah,
watched yet. But, honestly, now everything that comes from Matt, it doesn't bother me anymore. I'm like, "You do you, I'll do
yeah,
me. You stay in your lane,
yeah.
and I'll
Just
just have
don't
to."
don't go
Yep.
around saying shit about me that I'm like a gold digger or I stole somebody's husband, and don't say
Yeah.
Tina hates Mormons, like her kid is Mormon, you know?
Yeah. I just wanna, like, every time he says something, I'm like, "Dude, don't go get bees and go sell a house. That's all you need to do." Like, if he literally focused on real estate, he wouldn't have time to, for bringing drama all the
Yeah.
time, like,
Well, that's what
literally.
Malaysia said about Kenny. She was like, "For somebody who's so busy, he sure is in everybody's business," you know?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Seriously, it's so funny.
Malaysia had a good point this week when she said, this is sort of another example of a man making a mistake, and then the women are all having to apologize,
Like,
And she's like, "Matt
literally.
made the mistake, but I'm supposed to apologize for a group text I sent that his wife wasn't even in?" It makes no
Yeah,
sense, you know?
and him showing to her, I feel like he was trying to, again, hide behind it, like, or
"Everybody's being mean to
like,
me."
again, yes,
Yes, yeah,
victimizing himself. I'm like, "Don't do that." And Nicole is the craziest thing is Nicole is such a sweet person, like, she is truly very, very kind,
mhm.
but then when she's by herself, when she's around Matt, she gets, like, that defensive. I'm like, "Girl, you're much better than this. You can be much better than this," but
I didn't like the women blaming she was doing when she was saying, "Well, I wish women weren't allowed to sell their bodies." I was like, it's not the women's fault at the club that
yeah,
are working a job that they're paid to work. It's your fault for the husband going there and giving them money, you know? Like, why are we
again, like
blaming them?
trying to find someone to blame on his actions.
Right. I mean, I was like, "Nicole, don't be anti-woman here." Now, okay, so how long have you been friends with Lisa Barlow? Because 'Cause we've seen you film with her a couple of times.
Yeah, so now it's gonna be almost 2 years that we've been friends, and
Yeah?
she's just so funny. Like, I love being around her. Her energy is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
you see that in the show, That's
Yeah.
who truly she is. Like, she has that energy, like, high, high energy all the
Yeah.
time,
Well,
and
she drinks a lot of
she's
Diet Coke.
I know. I know, and every time we're together, we're, like, either drinking Vida tequila, so
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I
Oh my
love
god.
Lisa Barlow. I'm just so grateful for her that she's been not only a friend, but, like, she's been showing up to me. I always say this to her, she's my life coach, because when I started doing, when this opportunity, the whole, show popped up, and I was like, "Lisa, what do I do?" She's like, "I got you, girl. I'll walk
Yeah.
you through it. Like, I'll tell you everything." So,
Okay, that's good.
and everything she said, it was right on point. Like, I was like, "All right, thank you. That was very, very helpful."
She's, she's a very good housewife, a very good
She
housewife.
is, she is, she is. She definitely adds a lot of value to the
Yeah, she
group.
does. Now, another thing I noticed on last week's episode, and of course this week as well. Now, people that don't watch a lot of reality TV may not have clocked it, but I did. Taylor Frankie Paul's mom from Mom Talk,
Yes, Leanne.
Leanne, I was like, hold
I
on, rewind.
know.
They glossed that over. And then this week on the show, Malaysia made a joke. She was like, wow, this house is so sexy. Maybe I should call some of those swinging girls from Mom Talk. I'm like, oh
I
my
know.
God, the swinging girl's mom is on the trip. What are you talking about?
It's
Yes.
so funny. It's well, again, welcome to Small Lake City. Everybody knows
Yeah.
each other, everybody dated each other. It's so crazy. Or your neighbors with someone. It's so funny. But yes, Leanne, she's part of Preceded. I think she's been part of Preceded for a little while now.
Mhm.
And she's just a sweetheart. Leanne is such a kind person. She's fun. And on the St. George trip, she was just like having the time of her life with us. Like, she's awesome. In fact, I don't know if I should say this.
What, we can cut it out if it's bad. What is it?
Okay, but Dakota actually joined Presidio. Dakota is
Yeah.
what's his name? What's her name? Taylor's
Taylor.
ex.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I think Malaysia said that she just said the guy that Taylor had been with on the show was at
Yeah.
Presidio now. So that's Dakota. But I said, are they still together? And I think she was like,
I don't think
maybe.
they're together. Yeah, I really don't think they're together.
You have to really watch TikTok to know, and I don't have the time.
I know.
I, I only
It's
want to watch the videos about real estate.
I know, same. I'm like, I'm too busy with my kids and real
The job.
estate and
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then now we have Brittany too,
I
which
saw
is
that.
awesome.
I saw
It's
that.
interesting. Yeah.
That's going to be interesting if they do bring her back to be like friend of next year on Salt Lake and she's here. It'll be like
Yeah, big
a
crossover.
Vanderpump Rules Real Housewives of Beverly Hills crossover.
I
You
know.
know, it'll be like that. It'll be like that.
It is
Yeah.
so funny. I love
Um
that.
Now I will say you kind of on a serious note this week, we did see Kenny and Tina sit down after the breath work talking
Yep.
about they had some similar, abuse in their homes in their
Oh man,
childhood.
that's brutal.
That was brutal. That was
I
brutal.
I did not know that Kenny went through that until I watched it, and that was very shocking to me. I was like, "Man, you never." It's one of those things like you can never guess or judge what someone goes through, especially that type of abuse. And I
Mhm.
felt for him because especially back in the days, like not a lot of people had a voice. And now the more we talk about it, the more people are aware of it and they know they can get, out of that situation. So I was very proud of him, just being vulnerable and sharing
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
story with us, I mean, not with us, with everybody.
Yeah.
And
I was thinking, I wonder if Tina and Kenny had talked about that, before, in the past, and that when it came up at the breath work that he said to Tina, like, "We could talk about it. Would you wanna talk about it, on
yeah,
camera? Because it would be kind of important to sort of
yeah,
because he's talked a little bit about, the dad
yeah,
wouldn't pay the mortgage on their home and all that.
yeah,
So I was wondering if they had had that conversation before and they were like, "We could talk about it on camera because it's important sort
yeah.
of to bring these things to
I
light."
I honestly don't think they talked before, although they're in, not only in the show, but they are very close to each
Mhm.
other, in the office and just, just real life.
Yeah.
But, I think that was the first time because the emotions were so real. He was so, opening up and she was too.
Mhm.
So, I think that was the first time because I never unless if they're loyal to each other, but I never heard, Tina saying like, "Oh yeah, Kenny went through this," or I didn't even know Tina went through that, and her and I are very close.
Yeah.
So that's for both of them talking about. I was like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, it was a lot, and it was interesting too to hear that both of them say that, we have lots of good memories from our childhood, but then it's like you don't wanna allow yourself the good memories
Oh.
because of the bad. It was like, "Oh, it got me right
Oh, when they
here."
say that, yes, I felt
Oh,
their pain and all the trauma. It's crazy. But what I love the most about the two of them is that they don't have the victim mindset. They overcame those things and they're trying to be a better person, trying to apologize when they have to, or just
yes.
hold themselves accountable. So I thought that was really awesome from
That's a
them.
good point too, that they're both trying to, progress and move forward and
Yes,
be better as parents and better people
better.
and all
Yeah,
that. Mhm.
yeah.
Now has Kenny had his 4th baby now?
She did, and
Yeah.
she's so adorable. She's so cute. We send him dinner, the whole
Yeah.
group send him dinner, and they're just they just make beautiful babies.
I would
I couldn't do 4 kids.
no, that's a lot.
That's
I
a
could
lot.
tell you what, I would never invite Kenny to a party because I don't want him bringing me a live animal that I have to take care of. I saw that, I was like, "Why does he think that's funny?" I would be
When I
pissed.
that was my first rule when I invited him to Chris's 40th, and I was like,
Yeah.
"You're not bringing anything alive. You can bring whatever you want, but as long as
Yeah.
if it doesn't breathe or, has a heartbeat, you're not you're
Don't
not you're not even allowed to to come to the party."
I would be so mad if somebody brought me, like, a mouse or a bunny because somebody else said at the BJ's when he had brought BJ that mouse, somebody else
No, yeah.
said, "Oh, yeah, he brought me a rabbit," and I didn't even
I
know
know.
I was allowed to return it. I was like, "What? What is this guy's
I'm
deal? That
like,
is
"Dude, I don't
crazy."
yeah, what's going on?" Like
Well, I gotta tell you, Matt has made a good TV villain,
Oh,
and
man.
you girls on the show are beautiful to look at, and
Oh, you're
also
so sweet.
I love your friendships, and I love that you've got each other's backs.
Yes, it's
I
called
love
girl
that
power.
I love the girl power aspect of it, and, if Kenny, could quit talking about everybody and trying to stir it up, then he could be allowed into the girl group, but not Matt.
Honestly, that's what I don't get with Kenny because he's like, I'm like, you either two-face here or what? Because you are such a good person. Like you're you're okay. Like I hang out with
Yeah.
you. We actually have a good time together. But then when it comes to the drama, like he's taking like all his opinions and the side he would take. I'm like, dude, just look around.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he
And
rides hard for Matt too, and we're like, "Maybe what does
I
Matt
know,
have on Jen and Kenny? Maybe he's, like, got something on them that we don't know
I
about."
know, I know.
Jeez.
So
Well,
crazy.
tell me this, Sarah, if people are in your area, Portuguese or not, and they
Yeah.
need a realtor, how do they find you?
Oh, that's awesome. So, I you can find me on I have my website, but I mainly use my Instagram as
Mhm.
my business page. So, which is at Sarah T Martindale.
Okay.
You can message me there, and then there you will find my email. I have everything where you can send me a request or anything,
Yeah.
and yeah, I would
My
love
per
to
my
show Utah or Lehigh, which is amazing city, Park City. There's so many good areas here.
I've been to Sundance,
Oh,
and,
yeah,
that whole area around there, around Salt Lake City, and
yeah.
it's incredible. I mean, the views are incredible. That one
Oh, it's beautiful.
scene at the baby shower, I think it was the baby shower, when, Nicole was talking to you in Malaysia
Oh, yeah,
outside, and then
that's
Matt walked up.
Lehigh.
I was like, the view, I was like,
It's
"How
beautiful.
casual is this view that
I
they're just
know,
talking?" I was like, "Oh my,"
with the mountains
I
behind.
wouldn't be able to, like, focus on the conversation. It was so
Yes,
beautiful.
it's Lehigh. I mean, you get views from everywhere in Utah. I mean,
Yeah.
I love Utah, honestly. It's funny because when I first moved here, I was like, "Wait a minute, what am I doing here? This is too boring," you know?
Yeah, yeah,
I come from Brazil, like, life there is just party all the time,
yeah.
crazy, nightlife,
Yeah.
and here, everything closes so early.
Right, 'cause nobody
But
drinks.
then you learn how to love Utah, and that's how I'm at right now. Like, I can't even picture myself living outside of Utah, you know? It's just
Mhm.
it's beautiful. Like you said, everywhere you go, there's mountains and the people here are nice.
Yeah.
There's always tea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And our economy is strong, so and lots of job opportunities. So it's such a good place to call home.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think all the Mormons are very nice.
They're very
They are
helpful.
very nice
Seriously.
people. They are. Don't hang up, but you guys, if you wanna follow Sarah, she told you how to get her on Instagram, Sarah T. Martindale, and of course, you guys be watching Sold on SLC. The finale is next week. We're really looking forward to it. We're hoping we're gonna find out
Yeah,
why does Jen ride so hard for Matt? We're hoping we're gonna find out, but maybe
we'll
we never
see.
will. We never
We'll
will.
see.
Okay. Thanks, Sarah.
Hey, thank you, Mary.